everybody, I'm Pat Patterson. Thanks for joining us. We're back live at Daytona International Speedway, where qualifying for the Daytona 500 has just wrapped up. Due to a mandatory restrictor plates used on the engines here, each car got 2 qualifying laps, with the better of the 2 going into the record book as their official time. And the question on everyone's mind was, could Ford be beaten for the pole? The answer is an emphatic no. Blasting around the speedway at 192.213 miles per hour was Sterling Marlin in his Maxwell House Coffee Ford. And this shouldn't be a surprise because this is the 3rd straight restrictor plate race in which he's been the #1 qualifier. Car owner Junior Johnson was grinning from ear to ear because his second entry, piloted by Bill Elliott, was fast enough to take the outside pole with just a tick over 192 miles per hour. Their starting spots are guaranteed. Beginning with the 3rd fastest, Mark Martin, everyone else will have to run the 125-mile races Thursday to get their starting position. 4th was something of a surprise when Dorsey Schrader hustling a Junie Donlevy Ford around the speedway. Harry Gant was fastest of the GM cars, and he was sandwiched between the Fords of Phil Parsons and the Melling Tools T-Bird, and it's last year's pole sitter Davey Allison 7th. Definitely a disappointment there. Daytona's hard luck story, Dale Earnhardt, had the fastest Chevrolet at 8th. 9th was Brett Bodine, whose team made a switch to Ford after last season. And 10th to the king, Richard Petty, his last Daytona 500 and the best of the Pontiacs. And folks, that's 7 Fords in the top 10. And the man who will start next weekend's prestigious Daytona 500 joins us right now, Sterling Marlin. Sterling, congratulations. I think the last time you saw Victory Lane down here, and I don't know if it was a pole or not, was when Cuckoo was one of the 125s back in the 70s, wasn't it?
It's been a while. It's been 73, and we've been awful close. I've run second here 4 times, so maybe this will be the time.
Well, it was a good lap for you, and you were strong yesterday in the Clash, winning the first segment. Did you feel like it should happen? It should be your day?
Yeah, just all the credit in the shop. They done an awful lot of work on the cars, on the motors, and we've tested down here. It's going to take up permanent residence down here. We've been out here so much, but it was with the cars been quick all year, and it's just a big thrill to get it over with. We knew it was going to be close. I knew Bill was going to be close to me, and it was a breath of relief when he didn't beat me.
I know you hadn't had much time, just an hour and a half or so, to really think about it, and if you thought at all about it, but being on the pole has a lot of advantages going into the rest of this week. Besides just having the starting spot, you guys can relax a little bit. What do you have to do right now? What is the next priority for you and the team?
Well, we've taken the motor, we ran, and this is the same motor we used to set on the other 2 poles, and we're going to carry it back to Wilkesboro, and they're going to rebuild it and bring it back for the 500. It's an awful good motor, and we're going to try to get the car handled good in the Busch Clash. We just got boxed in on the second portion of it, and we're going to try to just fine-tune it and try to have it hold it wide open all day.
You ready for the media?
Ready to go.
Well, they'll be coming after you all week long, and congratulations. A great run for you and you guys this afternoon, and great place to start the Daytona 500.
Thanks, Pat. I love it.
All right, Sterling Marlin. Joining us now is our expert analyst, the editor of Stock Car Racing Magazine, Dick Bergeron, and you just heard it. They had the kind of afternoon you want to have, and we told them this morning that we thought it was going to be a Ford day, and it was.
It sure was, Pat. The Fords absolutely dominated today with 7 out of the top 10 qualifiers being Ford automobiles. And I think they're going to be very strong on Sunday, too. But by the same token, understand that today they were running by themselves. And come Sunday, they're going to be running in a big, tight pack. And that's going to give some of the GM cars an advantage that they certainly didn't have today. They'll run better, and it will be a competitive Daytona 500.
Quickly, just a few seconds now, Richard Petty, pretty big surprise there in the top 10, I'd say.
Yeah, it really was. And the fans are going to love to see him starting up front if he can pull it off in the 125.
Well, we look forward to having you back here in just a few moments. We'll talk some more a little bit about some of the exciting things. There are some exciting things going on here today that we'll tell you about, and we'd like for you to remember that only the front row has been determined today. So other than bragging rights, what's so important about qualifying up front? Well, it puts the statistics on your side. Since 1985, the Daytona 500 has been won from the front row 5 times. When we come back, we'll bring you racing action from last night. As we go to break, here's a chance for you to see how your favorite driver did this afternoon in qualifying. Stay with us.
Chalk up yet another win for Dale Earnhardt and Genuine GM Parts.
I have to tell you about this method of exercise that helps you have a firmer stomach without sit-ups. It's called the tummy sizer method, and it was originally developed by a European doctor. Just clip on the tummy sizer and extend and contract your stomach muscles, then relax. The tummy sizer helps make sure you do this isometric exercise correctly. You work out your abdominal muscles in just minutes a day, counting your reps as you firm your stomach. What's so fabulous about the tummy sizer method is that it works great even when you're in a relaxed position.
For me, if exercising is too hard and complicated, I end up not doing it. That's why I love the tummy sizer method. It's the way I like to work out.
The tummy sizer method is so safe and effective for firming your stomach without sit-ups. It's been approved by an exercise physiologist. There are a lot of products out there that help you do sit-ups, but the tummy sizer method helps you firm your stomach without sit-ups.
At first, because it was so simple, I didn't think it was doing anything. But then I noticed that my stomach was firmer. The tummy sizer method really worked for me.
For a firmer stomach without sit-ups, call toll-free now from Fitness Quest.
To order, call 1-800-238-9300. Use your credit card to avoid COD charges or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to Tummy Sizer, care of TV Offer, Box 10030, Stamford, Connecticut.
Welcome back to Daytona Beach, everyone. If you hadn't figured it out, it's not exactly a balmy evening here, a little chilly, and not all the eyes on this particular part of Florida this weekend as the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series opened its 1992 season inside. Probably a smart idea. Yes, inside the Florida Suncoast Dome in St. Petersburg. Neil Kassenbaum reports.
Defending champion number 11 Steve Kinser put the pressure on leader number 4 Bobby Davis Jr. right from the get-go in the preliminary feature. The temporary surface was very wide, so wide in fact that when Davis slipped high and won, he disappeared from view as Kinser took over first. From a 10th starting position, number 1 Sammy Swindell was picking off cars and soon challenged Kinser for the lead. The low groove was the only way around, and Kinser stayed low to take the win. In second was Swindell, just half a car length ahead of Davis. Keith Kaufman was fourth, with fifth going to Danny Smith. Last night in the A feature, Swindell and Kinser continued their battle. The race was only 4 laps old when Kinser went high out of the groove to pass lap traffic. Not the right thing to do, and Swindell took the lead. The very outside of the track was not the place to be either, as demonstrated by number 51, Jeff Schrum. And later, turn 3, number 78, Todd Kane, and 2D, Danny Smith mixed it up. No one was injured. On the restart, Swindell held to the low groove, so Stevie K made a last lap swing to the outside to see if that would work, and it didn't, as number 4, Bobby Davis Jr. slid under Kinser and stole second. With a win in the season opener, would Slam and Sammy consider going for the championship again?
I think I've run 4 times, and we've won it twice and run second twice. I like what I'm doing right now. We can go where we want to do. We don't have to run. We don't have to be in a, we don't have to be anywhere. And so we can do what we want to do when we want to.
Behind Swindell, Davis, and Kinser were Bobby Allen in fourth, and Keith Kaufman rounded out the top 5. I'm Neil Kassenbaum reporting for TNN Motorsports Magazine.
In just 3 weeks, the Daytona Speedway will be hosting the Camel Supercross Series. But will the championship already be decided by then? The man responsible for this question is Damon Bradshaw, who has won almost everything in sight in 1992. And he did it again last night in San Diego, winning his 4th event out of 5 so far this season. Coming in second was Kawasaki's Mike Kitarowski. With another third-place finish was defending champion Jean-Michel Bale. Jeff Stanton was 4th with Mike LaRocco 5th. Here are the current Supercross standings after 5 of 16 events. Of course, dominant Damon Bradshaw has a commanding lead with 118 points. 30 points back in second is Stanton, followed closely by Bale. LaRocco is 4th, and Guy Cooper rounds out the top 5. There was more motorcycle action for the fans in California last evening as the AMA Arena Cross riders took their tour to San Francisco. Mark Allen has the report on that and other indoor action.
Round 4 of Arena Cross, and for a change, someone other than Cliff Palmer was in front. 47 Dennis Hawthorne got the hole shot, and despite slipping for a moment to give Dean Matson a brief opening, the Kawasaki-mounted Texan took the 250cc Pro Main. Palmer's win streak was stopped, but he still took second. Rodney Smith was third, with Ross Pedersen fourth, and Jason Langford fifth. Frozen water was under the wheels of indoor ice riders in the Wolverine State, and it looked like a hockey game once in a while. A nice check on Ian Sedgeday in one of the heats. The hole shot is hugely important indoors. Dan Ingram got it in the main and made it stand up once again to prove why he displays the #1 plate.
I was able to win off on my heat races, and boy, it just stayed right on the bottom, and I could just wind that thing wide open and it just go wherever I wanted it to.
Don Estep was second, with Brian Vieira third, Lowe fourth, and Larry Pegram fifth. This is Mark Allen reporting for TNN Motorsports Magazine.
There will be some changes to the latest edition of the International Race of Champions. To talk about them, we'll have our guest, the president of IROC, Jay Signore, when we come back. Stay with us.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully get to the gear.
Anything you can handle, we can handle. Yokohama high-performance tires.
Gets 90 minutes of racing excitement from start to finish on the American Sports Cavalcade. The American Sports Cavalcade. 7 Eastern Sports Sundays on TNN.
Welcome back to Daytona Beach, everyone. Let's play Jeopardy for a second. The answer is a racing series where 12 big-name drivers from different types of racing compete against each other in identically prepared Dodge Daytonas. Your response? What is the International Race of Champions? Correct, for no money. And to tell us more about the 16th edition of IROC is a man who heads up this immensely popular event, Jay Signore. Jay, thanks for joining us on a chilly evening here in Daytona. I know you're excited. It's always neat to kick off down in Daytona, and again, the series looks like it's ready to go.
We're all set, Pat. We're ahead of schedule down here, and we're really excited. We got the cars really nice and close. The drivers have been in. They claim the cars feel great, and they're very comfortable.
All right, what changes this year?
Well, we have the new 92 Dodge facelift on the front end and the nose section. We've also done a lot of work in the chassis area to make the cars more comfortable and draft a lot better. The series is really a drafting series in a lot of respects.
I think a lot of fans ask the question, gosh, why don't these guys race, in other parts of the country and run some more events? The IROC schedule years gone by there were a lot more events. You point out it's pretty logical reason.
Well, the popularity of racing is growing so much. The driver's time is tough, and scheduling is our biggest problem.
Yeah, working against the NASCAR kart and all the different series that they participate. Anything to look for this year, maybe that we didn't see in this past year as far as IROC competition?
We have a new group of drivers. I think they're going to add a lot of excitement to it. They've been here testing early and taking great advantage of the time afforded them. So I think some of the new guys will give the old-timers a hard time.
All right, well, just a few seconds left. I know that the manufacturers, particularly Dodge, is involved in this. They get a lot of good research out of this, and it's one of the reasons they really participate.
Well, I think Dodge gets a lot of good research out of it. We're working on some new carbon brakes right now that'll probably wind up on a Viper shortly.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck. We know it should be a good season for you. Good luck this week, and we'll watch another great IROC season get started. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, Jay Signore. Another event slated for the Green Flag Friday. You want to just hang on just here 1 second. That'll boy, Jay. Slated for the Green Flag Friday is our NASCAR Dash Series. And sitting on my right here is a fellow who regular viewers on TNN will recognize, Bill Hennessy. And Bill, I know that you're going to decide to give up the microphone this week and slide on over to the driver's seat.
Well, Pat, it's going to be a reversal of roles. Something I really enjoy is we've been coming to Daytona for a long time. As a matter of fact, my first race as a spectator was back in 1965, but I always wanted to get in a dash car. And several years ago, we were on the pit lane, and I said, I bet I could drive one of those cars.
And you did.
Of course, you said, hey, okay, buddy, we'll see about it next year. So we drove a car. We had a 10th place finish, a 5th, and last year we had our own car down here for 15th. But this year we're back with Eagle One, United Marketing, and Hickman Brothers Trucking, and a David Watson Pontiac. We're going to have some fun Friday afternoon. Keep your cameras on us.
We're gonna follow you around a little bit and see how well the announcer does behind the wheel, and we'll have a report on just how well you fare.
The amazing thing is I'm looking forward to the critique from all my fellow broadcasters.
All right, sounds good. Next up, a man who has a perfect record in the Busch Grand National Series. Stay with us.
It's your boss on the phone. He says, do you still work here or not? I called the airline like you said, and sure, there's a later flight. Tomorrow.
When you just can't wait to get started, start with the Champion. Pound for pound, the most powerful automotive battery you can buy. Get your Champion now by calling 1-800-289-4627 for a dealer near you.
If you've ever had fresh vegetables right out of Norma Boaz's garden in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, then you already know a lot about the Cracker Barrel. The finest ingredients cooked up to authentic country recipes with the same pride that goes into everything Miss Norma puts up. When you're traveling along the interstates of this land, you might look for this sign. You'll enjoy the same kind of cooking this great country's been enjoying for over 150 years.
With Minwax polyurethane, you can do more than admire your wood. You can live with it, too, because Minwax contains pure urethane oil to protect wood while giving it beauty you can really live with. Minwax keeps wood beautiful.
Shower yourself with a new sensation, new refreshing Shield. Feel the blast, the high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-vigorating formula. Refreshment that'll turn you around. New refreshing Shield.
Join us here Sunday on the Inside Winston Cup Racing when our Road to Daytona series continues. And we'll also take a look at Mark Martin, Dorsey Schrader, and Wally Dallenbach Jr. as they do some different kind of racing.
Inside Winston Cup Racing, Sports Sundays, 11 a.m., 4 and 9 p.m., and again at 12:30 a.m. Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Welcome back, everybody. We're live this evening from Daytona International Speedway. Next Saturday, the Busch Grand National cars will roll off the line to start the Goodies 300. In just a coincidence, but the 300 will also be the 300th race in the history of the series. And making his 300th start will be Tommy Houston. This perfect record of starts dates back to 1982 when the series was known as the Late Model Sportsman. Tommy has been around since the beginning and has seen a lot of changes to the cars and the series. And there are some changes in his team, too. Now, Tommy, we'll just immediately ask you the question, what are those changes? And congratulations, you made it 300 races.
Yeah, we did. You know, one thing we're changing to an Oldsmobile-style body this year. You know, that, and we've moved into a new shop in Newton, and you know, we're just trying to get everything a little more organized and just see if we can't be a little tougher competitor on the Busch Series.
What can we look for? The Goodies 300 is always a whale of a race, and I think one of the reasons it is because everybody's fired up with fresh motors, and they've had time over the winter to get ready, and you do have a lot of Winston Cup competitors in it.
Yeah, you do. I think everybody's pumped up because it's one of the most prestigious races that we run. And to come down here and just be able to race and get in the show and make the field is one thing, but to be able to get out there and beat fenders and rub and, you know, just race these guys hard, you know, that's another. So that's the excitement of it.
The restrictor plate racing for the Winston Cup cars takes a lot of time and effort for those guys. What do you feel like is the toughest thing from a technical standpoint for the Busch cars to do to be successful here?
Well, the technical end of it, you know, the Busch Grand National inspectors, they're pretty tough on us. Our cars have to fit all the temperatures just like the Winston Cup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to do a lot of extensive testing because we're running V6 engines, you know, and sure. you handicap a six-cylinder engine,
then you're getting on back in horsepower. So the bodies have to be slick. But, you know, I would say NASCAR's technical inspection is the toughest part of it.
You ready to give this up? You going to keep on doing it?
No. I'm not about to, you know.
300 races. I mean, you've been at it a long time these days.
Well, I'm happy to do that. You know, I'm happy to be honored to do that, and we're trying harder than ever to win this 10th anniversary, to win the Busch Grand National Series Championship, along with Rosie's and all her crew. You know, Scott and all the guys they just seem to work harder every day.
I want to wish you a lot of luck. Hope it's a great Goodies 300 for you and the Roses team, and look forward to maybe having a chance to see you in Victory Lane next Saturday.
Pat, I think our car is going to run good here, and you know, no predictions, but we've not had very good luck here, except in '87 when we sat on the pole, set a new track record, and ran pretty good, you know, till the engine blew up, and then. But now, you know, I think we're due.
Go get them. Go get them. Hope it goes good for you. When you hear the hero, the $6 million man, veteran TV viewers think of Lee Majors. Well, move over, Lee, because Felix Sabates has announced a plan to create one in Winston Cup racing. If everything works out, his name will be Kyle.
It's $1 million if it wins the Daytona 500, $1 million if it wins the championship, $1 million if it wins five races, $1 million if it wins the Winston Million, and $1 million if it wins the Coca-Cola 500 and the Mellow Yellow 600 in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, and then if he wins all 5 of them, he gets another $1 million as a bonus.
Winston Cup drivers don't even make the list of top 900 paid athletes in the country. You know what I mean? So I think he's trying to help the sport and give it a little publicity and try to do something. And if you slide in and win a couple of million, then you jump to the head of the class here.
All right, Dick Bergen, editor of Stock Car Racing Magazine, has rejoined us. Now let's talk about some of the fun things that happened at the Speedway that probably you don't know about. Some people got caught trying to bend the rules down there today, didn't they?
Well, just a little bit, Pat. When they went out for qualifying today, they found out Jimmy Means had kind of a springy back trunk. Seems that when you push down on it hard enough, that spoiler would just drop a little bit. Jimmy Spencer, however, went one step further. His whole spoiler was kind of elastic. It looked like the real thing, and I haven't figured out how he did it, but if you pushed hard enough on that spoiler, why, back it would go.
Well, and the one that I'm yet to figure out exactly how it works, but Rusty Wallace apparently this morning also found the wrath of Nelson, perhaps, is the way we could phrase it, with bolts that automatically allow the car to lower itself?
Very clever. Shear pins on the suspension system, so it would go through technical inspection at the proper height, get it on the racetrack, shear pins let go, car drops down a little bit, gives you a lower center of gravity, and go quite a bit quicker. They caught that too.
We're sure that these all were just honest mistakes.
Oh, I'm sure.
No question about it. I mean, they were just trying to find that little extra speed there, or just forgot to tighten that down or
just
something.
Just a superior reading of the rule book, that's all.
Big story, though. The Ford's on the front row. I don't think either one of us are surprised that Sterling had the kind of day that he had. I was a little surprised, though, at Richard, and we mentioned this earlier in the show, Petty qualifying 10th. I think that's great. I really, really do.
I do, too. Dale Inman said they actually thought that they were going to go faster. Remember last year, Richard Petty ran so well in his 125-mile qualifier. He could do that again this year. If he does, these fans are going to see something that is truly memorable.
Dorsey Schrader, a great effort for him. First time out, Jenny Don Levy's machine, and qualifying, I guess, is 4th, or in the top 5. But there were some people back in the back that I was a little bit surprised. I was really surprised Ken Schrader did not do any better than he did, because he always is deadly down here.
Yeah, and he's way in the back of the pack. Rusty Wallace is going to be starting on Thursdays, 34th, way back there, 29th for Alan Kowicki, 21st for Darrell Waltrip. There are a lot of very, very good cars and drivers that are buried deep in this qualifying order, Pat.
But it is a Ford week.
It's a Ford week so far, yes.
Well, we'll see how it goes, and I appreciate you spending time. We'll, of course, be monitoring it all as the Chevys will try to regroup and throw something at them on Thursday. Appreciate you spending some time out here on a nice, brisk evening with us.
Fun time.
That's all the time we've got this week. As we leave, we must take a moment to mourn the end of Motorsports Magazine. It's been a great past 13 months, but shed no tears, because we are delighted to announce the debut of Race Day. You'll get the same up-to-the-minute news and highlights from the racing world and around the nation. And if you like the Motorsports Magazine, you're going to love Race Day. Be sure to join us Sunday morning at the usual time, 11:30 Eastern, when we'll be live once again at the Daytona International.